Good morning. Hello, everybody. I'm Faye Prairie, and I'm a personal life coach. And my areas of expertise are working with emotional intelligence. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. But emotional intelligence is being able to manage your thoughts, which helps you to manage your emotions. It's kind of like being the CEO over yourself, having successful management and control over yourself. So today I want to talk a little bit about anxiety because during this time with everything that's going on with the coronavirus, there is a lot more anxiety in the world. One thing with anxiety is it's often looking at the future and we're doing these, what if scenarios. So a lot of us are doing that right now because we don't have a lot of control over what's going to happen. There's a lot of uncertainty about the future, a lot of unknowns about the future, which tends to increase our anxiety. Before I go into talking just about anxiety, I just want you to kind of follow me on this topic of anger, and I want you to see if you can relate to it. Okay, let's say that you're driving to work one day and that morning you had a really heated encounter with your partner, your spouse, I don't know, an in-law or somebody. But as you're driving, you're thinking about this conversation or this heated encounter that you had with somebody. And all of a sudden, your thoughts start to release chemicals in your brain. So all of a sudden you're getting emotional all over again. You're getting ticked off, you're getting upset, you're starting to feel just as angry as you did when you were having this heated conversation. All these feelings are coming. You feel it in your chest, like you feel your chest getting tight, or you feel your head start hurting, or you can just feel the tension in your shoulders. But because you're having all these thoughts about this argument you had, your brain is releasing chemicals, and now it's making your body feel a certain way. Now you start thinking about all the words that you exchanged. You start remembering them, and you start thinking like, how did they say that? How dare they act like that? They're not going to get by with that. I am just so mad at them. And okay, again, now your thoughts are fueling those same feelings of being upset and angry and hurt. And then you feel that feeling of anger and hurt even more. So your thoughts are reinforcing the feeling, and then your feeling reinforces the thoughts. And all of a sudden, you get into like this little loop where your feelings and thoughts keep reinforcing the anger over and over again. And it keeps happening. Okay, which increases your feelings of frustration. Okay, after a while, your feelings just start to take over. They start to take over your body, and it's like you're producing more of those anger chemicals. Okay, and now your feelings are in control. All right, you start to see yourself like telling your partner off. You're yelling at them, or maybe you see yourself leaving them, or maybe you see yourself doing something really hurtful back to them just to pay them back, giving them a piece of your mind. Can you see how our thoughts and our feelings are all connected? It's like a loop, and they keep feeding each other. And every time you repeat that pattern of that loop, you feel this and then you think this, and then you feel this and then you think this. And that loop keeps going. And every single time you feed that loop, it becomes stronger and stronger. Pretty soon, it becomes a pattern in your life. Like maybe somebody who, they always seem angry, or maybe they always seem, I don't know, anxious, or they always seem sad, or they always seem stressed out. Because a lot of times what that is, it's just a loop that's been repeated over and over and over again, and now that's become their go-to emotion. Uh, so in order to, change that, we need to do something different. Oops, had a pop up here. I need to close. Okay. So in order to change that loop, we've got to change something in the loop. Okay. Let me go back to what's happening today with the coronavirus. Okay. Let's kind of do a scenario of what's going on today. Let's say that you wake up in the morning and you decide to catch the news. Okay, you turn the TV on, and all of a sudden, it's talking about coronavirus because that's what a lot of the news is talking about today. All right. And you start to hear like 100,000, I'm just making these numbers up, but 100,000 people are going to die. Like 1,000 people died yesterday. This business had to close. This business had to lay all their employees off. There was a little baby that actually died today, or there was a 68-year-old that died today. Okay. You hear all this news, and what does it do to you? All the projected deaths, all the losses. Okay, it starts to make you sad. It starts to create pain in you. It starts to create a lot of anxiety in you. Okay, now your brain is releasing chemicals, and these chemicals are making you feel fearful, worried, anxious. Now you have more thoughts that lead to how you feel. Okay, so you're starting to think, oh my gosh, what if I lose my job? What if I don't have enough money to take care of my family? What if I can't get food for my family? Um, what if I get it and die? Or what if a family member gets it and dies? Or what if the economy crashes? Like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. This is terrible. And so now your thoughts are creating more anxiety. And every time you feel more anxiety, you start to get more thoughts that go along that line. Okay. It's like I can compare this to have you ever heard of GIGO? With computers, they say GIGO, which is garbage in, garbage out, which basically means that whatever we're feeding our brain, whatever we're putting into it, is going to impact, what we're getting out and how we're feeling. All right, so let's say this sample now. So you're feeling anxiety because of everything you listened to, because of everything, that went into your brain. Now let's say it's later in the day and you watch the news again. Okay. Same thing. You open up that pattern loop again. You hear all these things, which makes your body feel a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of worry. And then you start to think all those same types of thoughts again, like, oh my gosh, what is this world coming to? And this is happening, and this is happening, and what's going to happen to me? And then all those thoughts increase your feeling of anxiety and worry, which give you more of the anxiety and worry thoughts. Okay. Pretty soon your feelings take over. And you just get more and more of those thoughts. And like I said, you start to create this feedback loop, this cycle. It's a vicious cycle, and it really feeds itself, because like one just keeps leading to the other. Okay. So you can see how your feelings and your thoughts are really connected and they're really impacting one another. Then, too, this affects your body in the fact that it affects your physiology because you literally start to feel it in your body. Maybe you've got a headache, or like I said, you've got the tight muscles. So these chemicals that are released because of your thoughts and feelings are affecting your body, and just everything is cycling together in this. And when you repeat this pattern enough times over and over and over again, this becomes your go-to pattern. So if you've done this a lot and you struggle with anxiety, it's become a pattern in you. It's become a habit. They say that 90% of our thoughts are the same each day. So that means the type of thoughts I had yesterday, 90% of them I will have again today. It's just habitual, like a lot of things in our life. The more we do something, the more it becomes a habit. But if you want to change it, you have to make a conscientious effort to change it, because otherwise you keep doing it over and it just becomes that pattern. So how do we use emotional intelligence to change this? I don't have it. I'm just going to talk a couple more minutes. And the scope of that, I would love to share a lot more about that, but I don't have time to do that really. Or I don't think that you'll want to take the time to listen to all that, but I'm going to give you one thing that you can use. A big part of emotional intelligence is awareness, self-awareness. And it is amazing that just awareness alone can really help you to change a habit. They even say that with eating. Like if you would just start tracking, like if you want to lose weight, if you would just start tracking everything you are eating and writing down everything you're eating, just that awareness alone can help you. So as I said, a big part of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. So become aware. Like what is your pattern? what is your typical go-to emotion? Okay. And now if you have a lot of anxiety and you're recognizing that, what are your thoughts that are leading to the anxiety? And sometimes it can be really hard to recognize our own thoughts. That's kind of where I help people in my coaching. I help them to, recognize what's going on in their mind, because sometimes it's hard for us to see. It's like those thoughts have just been going there so long, we just don't even recognize them anymore. But what is your loop? When you feel that strong emotional feeling, when you feel that anxiety or whatever it is your go-to feeling, just kind of stop and ask yourself, what was I just thinking? Or what was just going through my mind? Really start to become aware of what your loop is, of what your pattern is, because you cannot change it until you become aware of it. So once you gain that awareness, then you can start to interrupt that loop. So you can make some changes to it. The other thing I was going to share was to limit your input of watching things about the coronavirus. Because each time you do that, you're just increasing that cycle of increasing your anxiety and your fears. Now, I know we all need to stay informed and we all need to know things, but watching too much of it is just kind of remember, it's like garbage in, garbage out. If you're putting too much of that into you, you're not going to feel good, because it's creating too much stress and anxiety and uncertainty in us. Again, whenever we don't have control over things, it does increase anxiety. So this is completely normal, but one way to help you control that is to watch what your input is. So remember, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, and try to change what you're putting into your mind. And if you're having a lot of anxiety, try to put something more positive in your mind. Like read something positive, listen to a positive motivational YouTube video, but try to stay away from putting so many of the anxiety producing thoughts into your mind. That's one way that you can stop that anxiety loop, is to take control of the thoughts that you are putting into your mind. And you can do that by, limiting all the things about coronavirus that you're putting in your mind and putting something more positive into your mind. Okay, thank you for joining me. And if you thought this video was helpful, I would love it if you would share it with somebody or like it, because I'm doing this to try to help people. And if you help me share or like it, then it gets spread to more people. And again, you can go to my website, which is fayprairie.com, and go to /ask Faye anything, and give me a question that you might have about something that you'd like me to address on these videos. And I do personal life coaching. If anybody is struggling with anxiety and you would like to touch base and get some help with it, because sometimes, it's hard to deal with just on our own, reach out to me. My contact information is on this page, and I would love to visit with you and help you through it. Okay, thanks. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.